Assalamu alaikum, you're watching Just Law. In this program we discuss legal matters. I have Wajahat Sharif, who is a criminal and human rights lawyer, who's going to assist us in today's program, inshallah. The format of the show will be, I have a few questions of my own to ask, just to get ourselves updated, and perhaps ask him to talk about some of the interesting cases, or just subject matter of the cases that he has worked on. And then inshallah we'll open the phone lines for you to call in and ask questions. Please do remember that you don't have to give your name, you don't have to give specifics, so you can ask your questions and maintain your privacy somewhat. Whatever we say here, of course, don't act on it straight away. See someone local where you can give them more information, and then you can decide what to do. The role of the show here really is to discuss matters, let viewers have a bit more insight and a bit more understanding when we discuss legal issues, inshallah. So, Wajahat, you work on human rights and criminal matters, and in the sort of recent times, there has been, especially to do with Muslims, I was reading about the right to take away Muslim children's passports. Is that something to do with the court becoming the child's parent or de facto parent, or how does that work?
Yes, I think what you're talking about is instances where the court, through the intervention of local authorities, predominantly police and social services, has intervened in cases where they regard the parents as being extreme. And cases have been then taken by the local authority to the court, and the court then becomes an additional parent, effectively, for the child.
So this is awarding wardship to the court?
That's it, yes.
So they then adopt parental responsibility?
Absolutely.
And they override the mother and father?
Yes.
Is there a particular threshold, or, I mean, let's say, for example, the child goes to school, expresses certain ideas, which currently is being sort of discouraged or being regarded as being extreme. Well, I mean, is there a particular framework, or is it all fresh? We're not sure as to how it will pan out.
I'm not aware of all the cases, but my understanding is that this particularly arises where there has been a threat of children being removed from the country and going to Turkey, perhaps ultimately going to Syria. And the step has been taken as an emergency step to prevent that from happening. The audience may or may not be aware of the passing of the Counter-Terrorism and Security Act, and also a government strategy called PREVENT to deal with extremism. And as part of that overall strategy, the unique aspect of this is that social services are cooperating with the police and with the local authorities. So the reach is not just criminal law and security services, it's other civil agencies who are, it's a combined effort in effect to deal with an issue, the problem of extremism.
What about the involvement of the school? I mean, are the teachers required to keep an eye out for certain behaviors, or?
That's correct.
It seems like instead of teaching, instead of the GP giving medical assistance, they now have an additional duty to look out for certain signs. And those signs could be the person becoming a bit more religious, it could be certain practices. I mean, it's almost, we used to talk about certain dictatorial states where they intervene in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Are we not heading in that direction where the state, instead of sort of, this police doing their job, it's sort of been put into the community?
Absolutely. This is a disturbing aspect of the PREVENT strategy. It's now the summer holidays, and I'm aware of friends who are teachers, who are in the field of education, also who work within local authorities, who are undergoing training to look for certain signs. And the training isn't coherent, doesn't make any sense. It's effectively criminalizing or targeting Muslims, Islam. So any Muslim.
Let's explore a bit more on this one. There has been incidences where children have traveled either on their own or as part of a family package to Turkey, to Syria and other countries. And the state has a duty to protect those children and maybe those families from taking that drastic step. So from the government's perspective, they're protecting, people against certain harms.
Absolutely.
I think it's always a question of, are they getting is it a right adjustment? Are they going too far? Are they too intrusive?
Of course.
Would you say they're going too far? I mean, earlier on you were saying something about they're almost criminalizing certain aspects of Islamic beliefs.
Yes.
So for example, they say you have to give equality in terms of gender, in terms of certain other choices.
Yes.
And Islam has a very sort of firm position or firm opposition to certain things. And today, if you express your opposition to, say, alcohol or to certain sexual freedoms, that they call it, you would be regarded as being extreme.
Absolutely. Under the prevent strategy, a person, an individual, will be regarded as extreme if they are opposed or against democracy, equality, gender equality. They're opposed to same-sex marriages and same-sex relationships, and against fundamental human rights. Now, when it comes to the majority of those things, Islam is perfectly consistent with that. One or two issues, such as same-sex relationships, all would be a problem. Now, if, let's say, you're in a scenario where a young child is at school, they have some knowledge, basic knowledge of the Islamic faith, and they know that same-sex relationships, according to Islam, are not permitted, if it would lay the child open to be branded as an extremist if he or she expressed disapproval of such a relationship. Now, that's an easy entry point. And it doesn't take into account fundamental religious beliefs, even cultural beliefs. It disrespects them. And it's an easy way to then, for the state to start intervening and monitoring the child's behavior and activities. And this could be a problem. We don't precisely know where this is going, but my experience is that state intervention should be a last resort. The monitoring of a child, we are talking about children. Children do have views. Children may say correct or incorrect things, but they're children. And of course, they're going to school to learn and to be educated.
I think there's also a question of giving them the freedom and the room to maneuver.
Absolutely. I
mean, they may say something now which they may change their views later.
Yes.
But to sort of be intrusive and then criminalizing that aspect, it's difficult, isn't it? Because at one point you don't want children to go abroad and put themselves in danger.
Yes. Yeah.
At the same time, you don't want to be too intrusive where you are going to cause difficulties.
Of course, there's a balance that needs to be reached. On the one hand, we don't want over-monitoring of children who may say unwise things. Use that expression.
Right. Viewers, we're going to go to a break now, inshallah. And so we'll see you after the break. We are discussing criminal matters, human rights issues affecting the Muslim community. So please do participate by calling in and giving us your views. If you've been affected by any of these, or if you know anyone who's been affected, please do call in. We're going to go for a break now. So I'll see you, inshallah, on the other side of the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.